Hey everybody. A lot of people think that cooking my country style is all I do. Well, not really. What I have got going here because of the time that is involved is, actually let me pull this over here closer for that, is I may be a little country Irish girl, but you know what? I really do like ethnic foods, especially Spanish food. So today, since I have an excess amount of cornmeal, I decided to make some traditional polenta. And polenta is right along with the gluten-free menu because polenta is cornmeal. Sometimes you can find the polenta already cooked up. Me, I like to do everything from scratch, you know, being from the country, even with Spanish foods. So if you like corn, you will love polenta. Now, polenta can be made many different ways. Most recipes, it'll tell you, you use water and you use the cornmeal. I actually used buttermilk cornmeal. So this is going to have some really good flavor to it. And yeah, see, Aunt Jemima. And some of the best products out there done by that company. And your portioning for your ingredients is 4 to 1. So for a serving of polenta for 4 people, it's 4 cups. You can remember that by 4 people, okay? 4 cups of, it'll say water, but what makes it taste even better is if you use chicken broth or vegetable broth. Now, I opted for my 4 cups to be 3 cups of the vegetable broth and then 1 cup of cage-free chicken broth. I use organic. I'm trying to keep on the healthy, you know, trail here. So it's free-range chicken broth. And then I had the same in the vegetable broth, but I threw that container away already. So you put your broth in your pan. Make sure it's at least a 6 quart because 5 cups will fill this. I mean, you can see it's almost full. And you bring that broth to a boil, and you slowly sprinkle in the cornmeal from your measuring cup. So you're literally doing this. You're just going like this, constantly whisking it. So when this gets too thick to whisk, as it says, and you want to keep whisking it so there aren't any lumps. No lumps. And I'll tell you a secret. No such thing as no lumps. No. Not unless you're using instant potatoes. For polenta, you're going to have some lumpage. Anyway. And I could not find Reggiano, Parmigiano, you know, in the block to grate it to put in here. So what I did was I got the next best thing. This burner is on low medium right now because I don't want to overboil while I grab the cheese. I don't like to bring the cheese out until I'm ready to use it. And that's not, we don't want nacho cheese. Okay. But I did find an Italian style blend grated cheese. Now, it has the cheeses in it that I like and I need, plus a little extra, and I always like a little extra flavor. So we have part skim mozzarella, smoked flavored provolone. Oh, if you've never had smoked provolone, you've got to try it. Romano, Parmesan, Fontina, and Asiago. Now, if those cheeses all sound foreign to you, let me tell you. Hard cheeses, aged cheeses, are the best cheeses to eat. Processed, pasteurized cheese, no, because there's chemicals and stuff in it. The naturally aged cheese, provolone is an aged cheese, Swiss is an aged cheese. Did you know that Swiss is actually It's actually lactose free. So if you're lactose intolerant, you can have Swiss cheese. Yes, you can. You can have Swiss cheese. You can have Gouda, aged Gouda. Aged Gouda tastes wonderful. Not the processed Gouda, the aged Gouda. Aged Gouda is going to be a little bit drier, but if you grate it, it melts into your food. It's just wonderful. So this is now getting pretty on the thick side. Now, I don't like my polenta to get super thick because then it feels like you're eating globs of corn mush. Now, corn mush is another thing. I made some the other day. I'm going to make some more. It's a great breakfast item. You know how my husband described it? He said, it's like eating a corn pancake. Pancake made out of corn. And kind of it is. You do it in a bread pan. So this is the polenta, and this is actually, from what I'm gathering, and I've had another brand that my mom used to use, and it was very, very yellow. This must be white corn because it's very. I mean, you can see it's not dark. It's pretty white, and that's okay. So then, when it gets too thick to stir, as they say, to whisk, I can still keep whisking this though, right? Then that's when you put in a half a cup of grated Reggiano Parmigiano. Reggiano Parmigiano is a very hard cheese and is very pungent. It has a lot of flavor. This has the Asiago in it as well, and Romano. That is a great combination. So we take half a cup, and I look at it, it's like, if it's a little more than half a cup, that's okay too for me. I had to add a little bit extra water because when I was boiling this, it was setting really fast. So we're going to put this. There goes the cheese. And you get that all melted in there with it. And you're going to let this cook through on a medium-low heat. You're going to let that get good and hot and cheesy. You see the strings, right? That's the provolone. That's the provolone in it. Some people don't like provolone because it's stringy. That's okay. So now I can use the wooden. It says use a wooden spoon after this. So we'll use a wooden spoon. And I'm actually going to teach you how to plate this up for this one. It's a gluten-free, very healthy, light kind of meal. It can be a breakfast. It can be a lunch. It can be a light dinner. You can add a salad to it if you want. Can't remember if I have a Roma tomato or not. Let me see. Let me see. See if I have one. Oh, we do. Okay, good. We're going to plate this real pretty. And I do not have cilantro. Okay. I don't have the cilantro, but I do have that. Hopefully the avocado isn't too ripe. So there's that. Then, to make this buttery yummy, and I use no salted butter. Want to be careful with your salt. Unsalted butter. 2 tablespoons-ish. Close enough. And then my wooden spoon should be over here. Yep, there it is. And we're going to stir the butter in there with the cheese that's melted in there. And this really makes it creamy. So, it's kind of like a cheesy cream of wheat, but it's not cream of wheat. It's actually polenta, it's corn. And we're going to stir that in there, get it good and mixed together. It's for in the cold weather, like we're experiencing right now. 44 degrees, y'all. Georgia's got 44-degree weather. And it's bitter cold because it's rained too. We've had rain for the last 3 days. So you stir that in there. Now, if you wanted to give some color to this, you could actually add to it some turmeric. And turmeric is very good health-wise. So, you know what? I think I'm going to do that. It doesn't call for it, but it does make it pretty. Turmeric is used for mustard. That's what gives mustard the yellow color. So I'm going to use it to give my corn, my white corn, polenta, some color. So I'm only going to put about a half a teaspoon. Yes, I'm not using a measuring spoon. We don't do that in the country where I grew up. And that was country right here. Not in this state, up north. And it's a great way to add color. Gives your dish a little bit more character. Ooh, this gave it just enough yellow. Just enough. I don't know if you can tell the difference. I sure can. You see how nice and yellow? Look, it's almost as yellow as the yellow on my shirt. Oh, and it smells wonderful. Okay. So this, all in all, takes, depending on how fast your stovetop can heat up the liquid that's, you know, it's boiling, with the broth. Now, using a broth instead of water gives you a lot more flavor. Oh my goodness, it smells so wonderful. I wish I could let you guys smell it. It really smells good. Now I know that it's done. I'm going to let it rest a few minutes while I prepare the plate for plating. Some people said I should have opened a restaurant. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Thought about it. If I had the... Yeah, I probably would. I tried to talk my husband into it once. He goes, "You're not serious, right?" I go, "Yeah, I'm dead serious." So we're going to grab the plate. And I'm going to use my holiday plate. Well, these are everyday china, but it's kind of fall. I just like pretty plates. For this, I use a pretty plate. I'm going to put my plate there. And I need a bowl. Now, if you're doing portion control, you use this bowl. I use this for when I want to be naughty and want some ice cream, but I don't get this bowl for that. Because if I fill this up with ice cream, I eat the whole thing. So, and I switched to sherbet. Sherbet is a lot less sugar. It's just as tasty. It's actually made from a, I think it's 1% milk even. So, sherbet first. Ice cream only on special occasions. So this, I want to use this to plate it because it matches my plate. Okay. And so that the cornmeal is not the only veggie, I'm using a Roma tomato. And I'm praying that the avocado is still good. Saw it in the refrigerator. I know the tomato's good. So, you take this tomato. The reason why I choose Romas is they are more meat than they are seeds. And you can see when you look inside a Roma, or known as a plum tomato, it's mostly meat. When you're making salsa, when you're making pico de gallo, these are the tomatoes I use. I don't use any other tomato but this when I'm making a sauce or I'm making my pico de gallo or salsa. Roma, plum tomatoes. Now I cut it in half, off the bottom, half moon size shape, and put that there. And this makes a very, I used up all my cilantro, or I would put a sprig of cilantro on here as well, and I don't have any right now. Do you know that I've actually, I've made dishes like this for breakfast. I'm taking it on a tray in the bedroom and I put it in front of my husband as a treat, and he goes like, "Are we in a 5-star hotel?" I said, "No, you just got food from the kitchen. Get your little life fixed." I just like cooking. I wouldn't do it. Trust me. Alright. I need this. No. Opening avocado. I don't know how these people come. There was an article, excuse me, my nose is itchy. There's an article about the West Coast that they had a new condition going around. People were suffering from avocado hand. An avocado hand. I don't know how people are doing it. They're just not watching what they're doing. When you cut an avocado, there's a seed in the middle. And you just follow the seed around, just like this, okay? And you just twist it off. Well, some folks in the West Coast evidently don't know how to cut an avocado because they were slicing their hand open. I don't know how. I never have. Not in the 50-something years, because I'm 60, almost 64 now, that I've been alive. I have never sliced my hand open cutting an avocado. Never. Now, I do have a gadget for an avocado, but I have that little gadget. Comes in handy. This little guy. And I'm going to use it on the other half to show you how this works. It has a point for pitching it, for poking the seed out, and this is for the slices. And I sort of kind of sliced that kind of off, but that's okay. So you take the half of your avocado and you put it as close to the outside skin as possible, and you dig down in there and you scrape it. Scrape it against the skin, and you end up with one piece on the stove top. You end up with uniformly thickened avocado slices. Now myself, I like to get the most for my meal, so to speak. I prefer to make super thin slices, because then that makes me feel like I'm getting more. And I love avocado, so the more avocado, the better. That's right. So, and I haven't cut, like I said, and I go and I'll make my slices in it half the thickness that that little gadget does. Just like this, and like this, and like this. Then you need a big spoon. This is a super big spoon. I didn't have to use this one, but I'm going to use it just because. And same thing. You get up against the skin, and I actually score around it as close as I can. Get this all the way around, and bring those slices out. Now, if you're not going to use your avocado slices right away, how do you keep them from turning brown? Same way you do with apple pie. You put lemon juice on it. It doesn't change the flavor. Only changes the flavor if you go to eat it right away with the lemon juice, like fresh on it. But you use the lemon juice to keep it from browning. That's good. So, I'm actually going to probably do this whole tomato. This is a total vegetarian dinner kind of thing. Because of the way that I've done this. And avocado was perfect. My husband will be jealous if he knew I was eating a whole avocado by myself. I try to watch the calories portion of it and how much is in a meal. This is about maybe 400 calories. So with the polenta. That was so good. So I'm going to slice the rest of this tomato. It's not as red as I like. It's off season for them. You can switch flavor in them. But I have a remedy for that too. My husband and I discovered in a little shop not far from our home a spice that has in it garlic salt, a coarse salt, and some other spices. It is wonderful. I don't know why my nose itches like crazy every time I get a kill. Okay. So there's that. The shop just calls it gourmet spices. It's a smoked garlic and onion sea salt. You could probably make it yourself with using a garlic, a smoked garlic, and onion, minced onion, dried minced onion, and a little bit of sea salt. Just kind of like mix it up. But the great thing about this particular, it's clear on the back, it's really cool. You don't need a lot, just enough to give a little bit of flavor enhancement. Just like this. that. And my polenta, since I'm watching my portion control here. We are going to spoon this into this little dish. Just like this. I'm not sure how much the turmeric changes the flavor, but it made it very pretty. It's about 90 calories right here. And that's not bad. Anything under 100 is not bad at all. Oh my goodness. The vegetable broth with a little bit of chicken broth. Oh my goodness gracious. Perfect. You do that. They say to put another thing, a little, like a half a teaspoon of butter on top. I don't need it. And so I'm not going to put it on there. Okay? What I am going to do is you also get like a pinch. We call it a pinch. In the country we call it a pinch. And to garnish that, you do that. If I had cilantro, I would put cilantro on it. And I'm going to show you the plating of my vegetarian meal. With, this is traditional polenta with my little twist with the turmeric to get it some color. Actually, you'll find turmeric in a lot of Spanish dishes, at least the ones I've found. And here we have this beautiful plate with Roma tomato slices, avocado slices, garlic salt, and onion salt, spices, the polenta with the Italian cheeses, and a little bit of turmeric, just a half a teaspoon, just to give it some color. You can sort of taste it. Made up with vegetable broth and free-range chicken broth. So you see, I don't just make desserts. I really don't. I can make real food. If you like this dish, if you try this dish and you make it yourself, please let me know how it turned out. I would love to hear it. This is cooking my country style with a little Spanish flair, because I love Spanish food. Yeah, it surprised my husband too. He said, "You're Irish, why do you like Spanish food?" I said, "I don't know, I just love the flavors." I just love the flavors. So try this. It's simple, it's easy, and it's done in about 30 minutes. You can't beat it. No gluten, people. I'm on a gluten-free trail. Come along with me and cook my country style. See you next time.